You love him. We'll let him answer any questions that you have. I believe everyone has a budget handout. Is that correct? That's our budget as of end of month this July. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We have people walking around with microphones. And I think Fred had a question. Thought you were buying a pig. It was $1.
You need a copy? Okay. One point that is not on the slide is the current projected payoff date for the loan. That is currently October of 2022. That is a moving target because it is not uncommon to get extra donations that someone specifies to go towards that building loan. So as that occurs, that date gets moved up, but currently it is October of 2022.
Other questions about the budget? We don't mean to rush anyone. Our time is yours. Okay, for the last bullet there, the only thing you need to know is it's a little bit of an unforecasted cost. We thought we'd have a little bit longer than we now feel comfortable with in fixing the parking lot. Blame it on the wonderful wet fall or spring and summer that we've had. There are funds available, as it says in the bullet, but we may be shifting around some protected funds just to help us absorb the impact and balance it across all of our budgets. Okay, then for all of you, for the remainder part of this conversation, those words that are in black in the upper left have already occurred as we move through our FY21 through 23 minister search. Wanted to make sure we were all on the same sheet of music for the remaining part of our discussion as we talk about the minister search and the committee to do that for us and with us, and as we execute the deacon search process, and as we kickstart some of those things that we had to set aside during what I'll now call the COVID period of all of our lives in regards to education and classes and other things. So just so we're all in agreement, that's where we're at on the timeline. If you need a copy of it, let me know. I'll email it to you. But with that, we'll talk about our deacon search. So first thing you need to know, we met with all of our existing deacons. We asked them if they needed a break or if they needed some time. They said no. So thank you to all of those who are currently serving, and thank you to those who are serving and don't necessarily have, the title. The easiest one, of course, is Rod. Thank you for all that you do for our missionary work and keeping us informed and coordinating with them. Please take time to thank them, not only today but over the next several weeks and then all of the time after. However, we do think we need 3 other deacons. And so specifically, when you have a problem in the New Testament, you throw a deacon at it. Boom. It's that easy. So we found 3 areas where we'd like to throw someone on the problem or under the bus, as the case may be. One of them is helping us with the campus center building. One of the reasons we had to absorb so much cost and fix so much there was because we looked away from it. So we'd like to go tell someone to go look at it a lot more and a lot more often. So we will be coming to you for nominations for a deacon of the campus center building. We want a deacon of production. Now every week we wrestle with YouTube, saving the file, all that stuff, finding people who are trained to run our audio and video systems. This is going to be that guy. Somehow, just so you know, somehow this morning our setting was set on private, so while we could record our sermon, no one could watch it. So we'd like to eliminate that problem, if you don't mind. And so we ask you to give us a name to throw at the problem, along with a deacon of attendance. This person just helps us daily, weekly, monthly, over time, keep track of our numbers. What? Are you going to send out a card if we miss a congregation sign? Maybe. Maybe. Let's give that guy more work. My But first, we'll make sure Zeb signs all the cards. So we think we need those 3 positions, and that's who we will be coming to you when we say, who do you think would be a good deacon? We're going to specifically be looking at these 3 positions. If there are ones that we missed, please let us know. We'll meet and discuss it, and if it sticks, then we'll find a person to solve that problem also. So one note, if you don't meet the criteria to be a deacon and you want to solve this problem, you come see me, you're going to become that person. Okay? Any questions about the upcoming deacon search? And that's where we are in that. In September, we'd like to present our nominations in October, which means you now get to go find people and say, brother, I want to put you to work. See what their response is, and then give us that name. That's how that works. We'll have a lesson on that here in the next couple of weeks to help us identify our criteria. And then we will meet with them, we'll present them to the congregation, and then we'll appoint them. Right now, that timeline is January 22. Okay? We let things take the time they need. I'm not rushing anything. I've done rushing things in my life. It has not been productive. Our minister search. So we broke the congregation up into what we called equities, figured out who we were, over how many different areas people overlapped. We threw their names on a wall and then threw darts at it, and these are the names that the darts landed on. So we believe that these people can help us and assist us in developing what is basically the job description we will put out on the internet, helping us vet the applications that come in, and then helping us present that short list of people to us. And so the names are there. I believe we have touched each and every one of them to let them know this day should not be a surprise. And we are allowing the Steels to split the difference, given that they've just had 2 wonderful additions to their family. So, any question on any of those people? If you don't know them, well, do I need them to stand? Do we want to do that? Point them out? I think you should all know them. And if you don't know a particular one, come see me, and we'll make an introduction. Any questions on where we are at for the minister search and the committee? So it's September. We have formed the committee. We ask you to do 30 days of prayer. We will, as an eldership, schedule the first meeting of the committee to facilitate them getting together. And then we will allow them to set the timeline and go through the products that we have on hand to help them with that. And then we will come back and show you that timeline once they give us that, okay? So we are still on track. We think that we'll do notification and selection of a minister in January of 23. I know it seems like a little ways away, but believe me, time passes more quickly the older I get. Questions on the minister search and search committee? Okay. Another example of somebody stepping up to take on a problem for us and grabbing it with both hands is Maria Childs, and restarting our education thing throughout the congregation. So we talked to Curtis and we talked to Fred. They have volunteered to step down, leaving us free to form a new committee. Maria has volunteered to take on the burden of that task and act as our education coordinator in the congregation. So please thank her for that on behalf of all of us and our children. Our new classes are scheduled to start in September of 19, or September 19th. I believe you have a handout that was given out from Maria, and I will hand it over to her.
Okay, can you guys hear me? Okay. Okay, so as I was looking at this handout today, I realized how many times I use the word "we" in this handout because I really do believe this is a team effort for everybody. So the primary things that I've heard in my conversations have been we need volunteers, and the class breakout is also on this handout right in the middle. I also included some frequently asked questions that I've gotten from a lot of people in the last couple of weeks. But the primary thing that we're changing is volunteers will not be serving each weekend. So we are trying to do a rotating basis just to prevent burnout, and we know a lot of people travel, so that's my primary message. Does anybody have any questions? Yeah, if you are interested in volunteering, let me or Corey know. Corey is keeping a running list of all the volunteers, and a lot of people have stepped up, so thank you to those who have.
How did you break your leg?
I fractured my foot, so I'm on crutches, but I rolled my ankle upstairs in the parking lot before I even came in the building, so...
All right, she sacrificed her body for you.
Yes, I was coming to the church to paint because I'm painting the children's church room upstairs, one wall blue, but I did not get to paint, so...
Please reward the sacrifice of the body with your volunteer time.
Can you mention responsive numbers that you got, and then kind of...
Yeah, so there are about 29 kids in our congregation, so we did put out a parent survey, and I think every parent has done it so far, so that's great. We do have about 24 volunteers right now, so we have about one volunteer per child.
Do you know how many you need? Do we need double that, or?
Yeah, so that's existing with nursery. So we do think we need some more volunteers, but we don't really know exactly how many we need yet.
Right, as many as possible. So Zeb counts as a volunteer now.
You won't be on your own. You'll be developing.
Oh yes, that is a good point. So on this, the second bullet point under education, I do have volunteers will not be lesson planning. So Crystal has been helping me with developing lesson plans to provide to anybody who wants to volunteer.
So you're saying volunteers are not going to be in the classroom every week. You're going to rotate in and out to serve in that capacity, right? So you're not that teacher for that semester.
Correct.
Can you specify what age group you're more comfortable with?
Yes, you can.
Would it help to kind of have a breakdown we've talked about how it's going to run?
Yeah. The,
So what we've talked about so far is
yeah. Crystal's been like a huge companion for me in all of this, so.
Bev is making fun of me already, so you get double volunteer duty. So what we've talked about is we've talked a lot about that we've lost a lot of those fundamentals of why we believe what we believe, and that kids don't know that. And so what we would like to do is at the beginning of class, all of the kids will come together. So the older kids and the younger kids, and we will work on some of those fundamentals, learning the memory verses, learning songs like the books of the Bible, all of those songs that help teach all of those things. And then we will disperse. We will do our lesson that will coincide with the sermon. And we will have an object lesson as well that will help apply what we learned from the Bible to today's life. So kids know how to actually take it out and apply it in the world. Does that kind of make sense? So all of that will be outlined for you, and you won't be responsible for a whole hour. They'll be part of that time where we're teaching songs, and we want all of the kids together so that the older kids are helping the younger kids learn those things.
Hi, thank you so much for your work. I was wondering, I'm going to make a confession because I missed the call for volunteers. I saw something that said, parents of children, please fill this out. And so I didn't because my kids aren't here. So maybe you need another call for volunteers that are not parents of small children. I'm just going to put that out there. Maybe I'm the only one that missed it. So if you would prepare a survey just for me, I would appreciate that.
It's an ongoing thing. I've been trying to get around to people as fast as I can, but now I'm slowed down with 2 children and a wife on crutches. But feel free, you can call me, email me, text me, track me down. Okay. Zeb, get on that.
Did everybody get that? If
Speaking
you
of
don't,
communication.
if you don't have children that young, you can still volunteer. I think that's the crux of that.
Yeah, the survey went out just so we could figure out how many kids and place them in the classes, the class breakdown that we have assigned.
Right,
So,
but however, in Carla's defense, what we have found as elders is that if you want something done, you got to tell the congregation 5 times over 3 different forms of media. So thank you for volunteering. I'm not sure you understood that's what you just did. And yes, we will create a survey to find out exactly what you want to volunteer for, which I think is what you're asking for.
I just wanted to bring up the issue of Children's Church and how you're coordinating that with the classes, and who is eligible for Children's Church, because I think that's interesting to the people.
yes. Okay, so Children's Church, we're going to kind of do like a mini worship service just to kind of teach kids how to be quiet in church, listen to a lesson. It will coordinate with the sermon down here, as will Sunday school. But Children's Church is going to be kind of like a complementary lesson to Sunday school so that the kids aren't getting exactly the same thing, but it will be the same message and about the same topic.
Good. Repetition is
Yes.
part of the Bible's teaching methods.
Yes.
Good
And
job.
ages would be, for Children's Church, would be pre-K through 2nd grade.
Seven.
Second.
Second grade, 7 years old. Okay, good.
All right, any other questions? So obviously, education is an important topic to all of us, especially as it relates to our children. So your willingness to volunteer so far has been wonderful.
I know there might not be too many in here that actually have the young children here. One of the issues we've had, I feel like in the past, is like you come up with a number of 29. How many of those families/children will actually attend? Because that causes complications, and I know that that's what Fred and and Curtis have had issues with. We get all the teachers set up in all these classrooms, and then the teachers show up and no kids attend. And so there has to be, I don't know how to pull in a consistency of the attendance of the families and the children. And I mean, I know you can't force that issue, but sometimes we go overboard in finding the volunteers when we don't end up having the families that commit and the children attend.
Yes.
So let me try that. The first population we went to volunteer was the parent themselves. We believe that if they have to be here in the building to work, I think they'll drag their children out of bed and bring them. At least that's what we're going to try. And the rest of us are all just sort of gravy poured on top for our Volunteer Excellence Awards.
I was just going to add that on the parent survey that I sent out, I also asked the parents to commit to bringing their kids to the classes. Every single one said yes, and every single one agreed to volunteer. So.
All right, so you just stole my joke, so congratulations, you're well into. That's another deacon of attendance job.
I think one of the other issues is there's been times, and I'm not saying necessarily recently, that people would bring their kids and there'd be nobody to teach their kids. And so the same, and part of that is because, you know, you ask somebody to be here all the time, or they ask a sub to come and the sub doesn't show up. So it's very important that as we commit to our children, commit to teaching these classes, if you have a Sunday that you are there, and if you are not there, that you have somebody that is there and ready to teach, because that's demoralizing. So parents go, well, there's nobody there to teach my child, so I'm going to stop bringing my child.
Right, and so I think that we are going to work that out in the way Corey has that nested with the same email that goes out for, hey, you've got a job to do in the congregation this Sunday. We'll have those names tacked onto it along with some other things. So that email list is going to grow. So if you're one of the ladies and you have taught yourself to ignore that email because you're not represented on there, you will be now. And so you have to open it up and read it.
And we're going to tag that into the worship coordinator duties as well, to have the subs listed out. And so if day of you can't make it, you just notify the coordinator like normal, and the coordinator will find a temp sub, which fits with how we're designing the lesson plans. Should I treat it like a boom mic? Is that better? You got something you want to say? Yeah. No?
All right, so I certainly don't want to cut conversation short, but I acknowledge we are on your time. Any other questions about education?
I think next year, when it's time to approve the budget, we'll put education also on the agenda for that meeting, and we'll just get that budget approved real quick.
That's why you're the deacon of the dollar. That's why you are our, that's right, you're the budgeteer. I love you. Long time. Okay. Thank you, Maria. Okay, so another person who does some work for us that it's not a deaconship is Zeb in coordinating all of our sermons, our sermon series, making sure we have men to cover them, and all of some of the other things we're going to begin to incorporate in that. So thank you for that service, and anything to add to what's written on our upcoming sermon series, or anything about the sermons themselves as we move through our next set. Lane retreated and took the mic with him.
I think the thing to note about the upcoming sermon series is we are going to spend the better portion of this fall talking about, we're going to start with the division of the kingdom in the Old Testament, and we're going to work through the prophets and talk about the prophecies of the coming Savior. Understanding that we need a Savior, understanding that we've always needed a Savior, somebody to save us. And then we're going to coincide Christmas with being the birth of Jesus. Now, we understand that Jesus probably was not born on December 25th. However, the world celebrates his birth on the 25th, and we miss an opportunity if we don't use that as well. So we're going to kind of go from his birth through Easter will be the resurrection. So from December through April will be all about Jesus' ministry, his life, his work, and culminating with his death, burial, and resurrection. And so each of those will be tied to, again, through the sermons, but also through the classes that are taught upstairs. And then I believe the plan after April, which I don't think is up here, is to continue to talk through the New Testament on through next summer, so however long that takes. So, oh, and Ray is also going to be teaching a class starting in September on the same day, the 19th, that's going to be called The Game of Life. So I'm not exactly sure everywhere he's going to go with that. He's a very wide topic, but he's going to prepare things to talk about the things that we do in life, the things that we should be doing, the things that we can learn and apply to our lives. So do you have anything else to say about your class? Drum up some interest.
So that will be the Sunday morning adult class. And it's exactly what Zeb said. It'll meet in here. We're using the Game of Life as the topic overall. It's a game we all know and love and play, but there are issues with it for each of us as we transition through all of our different periods of life and how we address the game we play and how we do that as Christians. So,
just a quick question. The adults are in here, where are the kids meeting?
They're going to meet in the upstairs auditorium to start, and then they will branch out to classrooms from there. That's what I understand, right, Maria?
yes.
Yes, perfect. Also, I was just going to say something else.
You're about to have a ground-land warfare. I was going to...
Now I forget what it was. Lost my train of thought. Anyway, I'll think of it in a minute.
About sermons or sermon series?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I was going to also say, another thing that is done at this church that is not necessarily under the title of deacon is the men who are preaching. Some of them are deacons, some of them are elders, but that's not part of their duties for that. So we want to continue to thank them for the great work that they're doing and for the preparation that they prepare each week. And it's sometimes really difficult. It can be difficult either way. It's difficult sometimes when somebody gives you a topic to speak on because it may not be something you're comfortable with or you have a lot of knowledge on, so you spend a lot more time. But also it can be hard sometimes if we don't give them a topic and let them just choose because there's a lot of topics that can be chosen. So just know that there's a lot that goes into that, and they spend a lot of hours each week outside of their own time with all the things they have to do to prepare those. So we do appreciate the work that they're doing there too.
All right, any questions or concerns? Not yet. That's right. In every encounter, someone's training someone. There you go. Thank you,
As far
ma'am.
as the attendees for the Sunday morning class, does that include the college students and any high school students?
I believe the high school and college students are going to meet in the Game of Life class in the auditorium. So I think it's 8th grade and higher, right? Because you have through 7th grade, I think. 8th grade and higher, according to the sheet, will meet in here for class.
You are an adult or you want to be one day.
Because guess what? They're playing the Game of Life too. So we can all learn from each other. Other questions? Comments?
Okay, go nowhere because
Yeah, I'm the next
you
one
do
too,
a
I
lot of
think.
work. And now we're going to spend a moment talking about small groups.
All right, small groups. One of the things that I want to really iterate here is that small groups are a really, really important part of the community of church. I believe that these small groups can make our church very vibrant. They can really help you grow. I remember every small group I've been a part of at this congregation. I remember when we first got here and we we were like wandering fools, and Lane came up to me and said, hey, we weren't going to do a small group, but we're going to do one now. You're coming to our house. And I remember the people that were in it. I remember Leola, and I remember the Vials, and I remember, there was lots of us throughout the time. And so we had a great time. We would get together and we would visit and just share with things. And I met people that allowed me to be able to reach out to them in times of need or vice versa. Now going all the way through where we actually hosted a small group here at the church that had like 25 little kids running around, which was fun and interesting. And we lost a couple of those families, and now we meet at our house. So small groups can really take on, and those people are really close. You know, we spend a lot of time each week, and when things come up, we're helping each other and we're doing those types of things. Small groups are a great way to also share Jesus and invite people into the church without the stigma of having to go into a church building and to attend a worship. Because unfortunately, some people have a bad stigma about being at church. Whether it's they had a bad experience growing up, whether they've never done it, so they don't know what to expect. But small groups are welcoming. We feed you. We have great conversation. We talk about life. So those can be great things. So what I also want to iterate about small groups is they are really supposed to be small groups. At some point, your small group becomes too large really to be a small group anymore. And that is a great problem to have, because that means we need another small group. And that means somebody in your group is probably ready to take on that leadership role of hosting their own small group. Now, does that mean you still won't spend time and hang out with those people you've developed relationships with? Well, I hope not. I hope your relationships go beyond that time on Sunday nights, that you could still be with each other. So we want to encourage growth in small groups, but we also want to, at some point, encourage creating more small groups that fit that. So currently, we have several small groups that are already planning on meeting. The first one is the Cats for Christ group, which meets at the campus center. I believe Luke has a big hand in that, right? And then also Jean and Kim, I think, attend there. And there's probably several others that probably Tyler and Addie. Are you still going? No, not anymore. Okay. So I didn't have that information right, so that's good. They meet at the campus center at 5 o'clock on Sunday nights, and they will meet tonight, okay? I believe all other small groups are going to start not next week, but the following week. We usually start the week after the last blast of summer, which, if you didn't hear earlier, is at Annenberg Park next Monday. I believe we're playing softball at 5 o'clock. We don't always have enough for the game, so please show up and play, because that's fun. and then we eat at 6 o'clock. So good times there. So we'll have that. So Cats for Christ group meets at the campus center. We have the Lunch Bunch, they call themselves. They meet right after worship every Sunday except for Snack Time Sunday, which is typically the first Sunday of the month. We are not having snack time next week as an announcement as well, because we're doing Last Blast instead on Monday, okay? So they'll meet right after. They have a rotation of who brings what for that. The person that I think, let's see, Lane, you're in that group, right? Yeah? And who else helps you with that? Right, Gail Eden. So Gail, if you don't know Gail, he sits right up here. He's not here today. He walks with a little bit of a limp because he's had a knee replacement surgery, but Gail is up here, and so you can get a hold of Lane or Gail if you'd like to be involved in that group. One thing that's great about that group is if you just need somewhere to go, it's great. You can go there, especially if we have visitors, we can invite them to go to that group. They can have lunch with them and get to know them a little bit better, so that's a great opportunity for us to reach out. We have the Kastner-Peterson group, so we've got Curtis right here, and we've got Fred, the ponytail, right here. I love the ponytail. I think it's great. I hope he always leaves that. I think it fits him well. So they meet, I think you guys kind of rotate where you meet, right? Your house and their house, and yeah.
I think they turned you down. Can you hear me? Okay, I think. Whoa, all right. The Kastner-Peterson group will meet, we'll start on the 12th. We'll meet here at the church building. Most of the people that have historically been in that group are, I've touched base with them, and they will continue in that group. And we can add to it, you should know that we are the most mature group. And so anyway, if you're interested, talk to Fred or talk to me, and we will get that first session started. We'll begin with a bit of prayer on that particular day. We will share anything that we've learned over the summer and in our reading and our experiences with sermons that are encouraging. We'll take a little time to do that, and then we'll talk about the logistics for this upcoming year. Okay? All right. Thank you.
So
and I'm just going to say one thing. The noon group, we're going to rename it the Youth Bunch.
I got you.
They are the mature group.
Well, I was thinking we should change their name to the Silver-Haired Bunch. Maybe. I don't know. Well, we could have the No-Hair Bunch. I mean, we could do that too. Okay. All right. Then we have the Grice group. Ronnie is around somewhere. There he is, right there. I missed you. So they rotate houses, right? So.
So Troy and I have agreed to switch over and help the Warrens. We're traditionally in the Grice group, seeing more college students and a need in that area. So Troy and I are jumping over, and we're going to get to know all you guys.
Awesome.
Right, so the Grice group has an opening. They'll be doing interviews.
Yeah, open interviews at the Grice home, 5 p.m. on the 12th, right? Is that where you're meeting on 12th? Is that your house? I just made that announcement, so you have to now. All right, so we're meeting at the Grice house. Now, hold on, never mind. Cheryl says we're not, so it's not there. But get with Ronnie or Cheryl, and they'll figure out where that's going if you would like to join that group. We have the East 24 Larimore group. Larimores, are they here? He took the kids home. Yeah, that happens sometimes. So Derek, have you seen, Derek?
The plans are still uncertain on that.
Plans are still uncertain. Yeah. And I think the Fouches, Austin, is he a part of that group? Yeah. I don't think he's here either. Oh, he's back there, right there. So if you have questions, if you'd like to talk to them about that, talk to Austin today. Sorry, Austin, I volunteered you, but you're here. So, but he can at least get you in communication, contact. Like my group, we're gonna talk about my group next, but my group has we have a Facebook group where we're all in there and we can share messages and share things together, and that's really encouraging. So, so there's that group that meets out that way, east of town, and then we have my group, the Carter group, meets at my house. We have 5 families, which most of our families, all of them, No, yeah, all of them have kids now, right? Anyway, yeah, all of our families have kids, and so we have a lot of kids. We spend a lot of time talking about parenting fails more than wins, probably. How do we fix these problems and things like that? But we meet at my house at 5 o'clock, and we'd be happy to talk to you about our group as well. So all of those small groups, if you would like to get in contact with anybody about those, you can either go to the person that I just showed you as the leader, or you can come to me or any of the elders. We all have contact information for those people, and we will get you in contact with those and kind of, we can ask questions about what group might fit you well, what would work well for you. Most of these groups do meet at 5 o'clock on Sunday nights, except for the lunch bunch, or what did you call them? The young bunch at lunch. So, and then, but the Larimore group may end up changing that time sometimes. I remember one year we met on Monday nights at 5 o'clock here at the church building because that's what worked best for our family. So things can be changed if need be. We also have a couple other groups we want to kind of draw your attention to. We have a campus ladies group Bible study, which meets at 8 p.m. at Sandra's house. So Sandra, wave your hand there. If you'd like to be involved in that, talk to Sandra, and she will get you all the details on that. We also have a campus group Bible study at 7 p.m. on Thursdays at the Campus Center. And I believe, Luke, do you head that up? Okay, so Luke, the guy with the surfer hair, the guy that led singing this morning, and he's the one that you would talk to about that, all right? Do we have any questions about small groups or other Bible studies? If you'd like to start a small group, hey, yes, do that. And we'll find you some people to be in your group too. So as we continue to grow, hopefully our church continues to grow and add new families. We'd like to get everybody involved in a small group in one way, shape, or form. So if you have any questions, Luke?
We have one additional Bible study that didn't make it onto the board because it just got decided.
There we go.
Friday night. But we have a men's Bible study that meets on Friday. Hey, there we go. It meets on Friday at 7 p.m. at 6 p.m. at the campus house.
6 p.m. 6 p.m. campus house.
On Fridays.
Okay, and the address of the campus house is?
1501 Denison.
1501 Denison Avenue. So if you would like to be a part of that, and I'm assuming that's for any men that would like to come, Luke? Yes?
What's that?
Any aged men that would like to come? Silver-haired's okay?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. I just making sure. So if you'd like to be a part of that, 6 p.m. on Friday at the Campus Center. Okay?
Ponytail might be the price.
Ponytail might be the cutoff. I don't know. Just kidding. All right. Any other questions on small groups or Bible studies that we have currently scheduled? Okay.
All right. Luke, Fred, don't let them get you on your hair. They're just trying to live vicariously through you and don't know how to show it. All right. Those were the things we needed to bring before you for your information and inclusion and understanding. Barb, I will send you all the slides. So if there's anything you want to take out and put in the bulletin, you'll have it. Seeing no other questions on any other new topic, I'll stand by 5 seconds if you want to ambush us with one. Okay, then we will close with a prayer.
Testing. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this congregation, and we thank you for all of those who have attended this meeting. We ask you to be with each and every one of us, but as elders, we ask you to continue to give us the leadership to guide as set forth. We ask you to be with us as we leave here today, be our shield and protection until we can once assemble again in the house of the Lord. And all these things we pray in your Son's name. Amen.